Rotate your phone. Okay. Okay, we are back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Here's my client Anna. Say hi.
Hello.
Okay, so I've already put some product in Anna's hair. Let's get over here. Sorry, I had it all set up, but then I lost internet connection. Okay, so I've already put some product in Anna's hair. The few things that I talked about before we lost internet connection was the two things that I put in anyone's hair before you style it, and what makes your style last a long time is a heat protectant and a mousse, or a styling foam. The styling foam that I use is Sculpting Foam by Paul Mitchell. This is it, and it has memory foam. I used about a hazelnut size, and I put it only at the roots. Because it has that hold to it, if you put it at the ends, it's going to get sticky, and then your brush is going to get stuck, and you're going to have a lot of difficulty. So, but this is going to help have memory and remember where you set your hair. Here we go. And then I also like, I talked about the tangles in your hair. So some people, last week in my video, I talked about washing your hair and getting the tangles out when you have the conditioner. If that's not completely possible, if your hair is damaged or you just have naturally a lot of tangles, I talked about 2 detangling products which have a heat protectant in it. It's a tin. You can just spray maybe 4 spritz of that in your hair, just depending on how long your hair is. Anna has pretty long hair, so I did about 4. There's also 7-second conditioning spray by Unite. It is an awesome product. I like that better than It's a 10. I feel like It's a 10 can be heavy on your hair sometimes. The 7 seconds is never too heavy. There's also 3 heat protectants that I use generally on all of my clients. These are the 3 heat protectants I put in every single client's hair. These 3 by Kerastase. So I like Nectar Thermique, Cement Thermique, and Keratin Thermique. Nectar Thermique is if you have dry hair. Keratin Thermique is if you have frizzy hair. The 2 kind of go hand in hand, but if you have frizzy, fine hair, frizz is caused because you have lack of moisture. So a lot of times Nectar Thermique you would want to do that to give your hair moisture and take away the frizz, but if you have frizzy and fine hair, it can weigh your hair down too much, so that's where the Keratin Thermique comes in. This Cement Thermique is awesome for people who have really fine hair or highlights. Those are, this is an anti-breakage one. Your hair gets pretty brittle if you have highlights, so I like to use that for fine hair and highlights. So we're going to get started on Anna's hair. We're going to come back over here. Okay, so one of the things that is awesome is a wet brush. Let's get down here so we can see her hair. Here we go. Okay, so you're going to want to use a wet brush. It really helps get all the way through all of those tangles. And it doesn't pool. Let's see who's watching. Oh, I've got 2 viewers. Hello. Make sure to like and share this video at the bottom, and send in any comments if you have any questions, and I'll make sure to answer those as we go along. So one thing that you need to do whenever you go to dry your hair, the ends of your hair, they're going to dry the fastest. So you're going to want to make sure that whenever you start, you're drying the roots to the mid shaft. That's what you want to focus on, and that's what you want to rough dry first. So we're just going to get started, and we're just going to rough dry the top part of Anna's hair. How you doing, Anna?
Great.
Here we go. So there's a little thing I like to do. It's called flat wrap. So it helps get more volume. So I like to start over here on the side, and I just like to pull the hair up over, and I pull it to the other side. And I like to do that down here at the bottom too, because one thing that people do, they flip their hair upside down. So they'll go upside down and then blow dry their hair. That's something that actually, if you have an open hair cuticle and you did not wash your hair, rinse it with cool water, like I talked about in my last week's video about how to wash your hair, then your hair cuticle is open, and if it's open, and then you're gonna push that airflow down the opposite direction. You want to seal your cuticle so that you don't have as much frizz. So if you're blow drying your hair upside down, you could be causing more frizz, and that's something you don't want to do. Oh, let's see. I think we got a comment here. Not sure if it's just me, but the video is displaying sideways. Oh, I don't know how to fix that. Let's see. Well, I don't know how to fix that, but I will work on that next week. So for now, just bear with me, sideways video. I don't know what it said. Okay, so we're gonna flat wrap, make sure we get all of this dry around her scalp. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna section her hair. So once we have all of this dry around her scalp, people, they get lost in all of their hair. So I'm going to show you how to section it, how to do it really fast and easy, because we don't have time to style our hair every single day. If you have a really good shampoo, if you do a really good job shampooing your hair like I talked about last week, then your blow dry is going to last a lot longer, your hair is going to be cleaner, and you're not going to have to wash it as often. So if you have not watched my video on how to wash your hair properly, go back to last week and watch that, because that's going to make a big difference. I'm going to switch brushes. The wet brush sometimes isn't as strong, so I'm just going to switch over to a paddle brush. The bristles on the wet brush are really flexible, so they're great to get tangles out. They're not always great for styling. So, especially up here in the crown, I like to just pull it up with the brush like this, and then I just hit it with the blow dryer. Let's see. No worries. Good. Okay, so we have got Anna's roots dry. Now let's just pull it down. I like to pull it down a little bit to the mid-shaft. Get the mid-shaft dry. Now I don't start round brushing until I've got the roots dry. Round brushing is for polishing your ends. Now round brushing is something that people have a hard time with doing yourself. They see the hairstylists do it all the time and they're like, oh, how do they just do it? Why can I never make my hair look like that? I'll tell you what, it took me 2 years of doing somebody else's hair until I was able to do it on my own. Hi Melinda, how are you? So round brushing is not, if you're having difficulty, you're not alone. It's not as easy as you would think, but I'll show you some tricks whenever it comes to it. But if you just get your roots dry first, that's going to make round brushing so much easier. What they taught me in school is you want to flat wrap your hair and you want to get the roots of your hair and the mid-shaft of your hair. You want to get it all of your hair 80% dry before you go into round brush. So if you're going into round brush and your hair is still mostly wet, then you're giving yourself so much extra work. That's not necessary. So what we're going to do when we section her hair, I'm going to turn her around a little bit. Okay, so what I like to do is I like these little points. So I take it from the temples to the crown, and that's one section. So I have one section, and then I just clip it out of the way. Now my next section is from right behind your ears, right here, to that occipital bone, that bone that protrudes in the back of your head. That's your next section. So we're going to take that and we are going to clip that out of the way. Okay, so here's your 3 sections. So whenever you are ready to get to the next section, this is going to be time saving because you're just going to just pull out the clip and then drop the next one. So what would you do differently with short hair? I'm going to show you how to do short hair in another upcoming video. It is a little different. There's different ways to style it, but this is really if you have hair from your shoulder or down. This is really how you're going to blow dry hair like that. But I am going to do a video on how to do shorter hair coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so now whenever you take this section here, I like to split it in half. Whenever I'm curling the hair, that half that I would take, I would turn it into 4s. But I'm not curling her hair, I'm just blow drying it. So I don't want to do it any wider than the width of your round brush, because that's where you're going to have problems. You're taking too much hair on the blow dryer, and that's why you're fighting whenever you're doing the round brush, because it's too much hair. So that's why I came up with these little sections because it makes it easier and faster. Once you get into the routine of doing it, you go so much faster and it's so much easier because it's just boom, boom, boom. You have the same routine, you do it exactly the same every single time, and your hair looks great every single time. That's why your hairstylist is usually able to do your hair in half the time that you do, and it looks twice as good. So, one of the things with round brushing, up here in the mid shaft, I don't really put too much tension. Now, when you get to the ends of your hair, that's where you want to put more tension. So, I go back and forth, and I like to get both sides because that's going to get it drier faster. I also only like to use metal round brushes. The metal is a heat conductor, and so that's going to help dry your hair quicker, and it's also going to help style your hair. So the more tension that you use, the smoother you're going to get. So you're going to want to make sure that you feel the tension. You're going to want to wrap it around and feel the tension as you pull it. Not too tight. You'll be able to feel the difference. If too tight, it hurts you, and just enough that it has a little bit of a tug, so that you're actually going to be able to get a style out of it. Now, something that I like to do with Anna's hair, because she has such beautiful hair, but it's pretty straight. Luckily, I'm able to get a good curl out of her hair. So something that I like to do, and I would do on my own hair at home when I had longer hair, is once I get it heated up, it's dry, and it's still hot, I'm going to pin it up into a little curl. So here we go. We've got this section. I'm going to go over it one more time, make sure it's nice and warm. And get that side, get the other side. Okay, so now this section is dry, and I'm going to take 2 fingers and wrap the hair around those 2 fingers, and then I'm just going to take my little duckbill clip and clip her hair there. Oops, it's falling out. I got to make sure I get a good grip in there. There we go. Now, I like to do that because it helps set your hair. Once your hair has cooled down, it's set. You want to make sure that you set your hair once it's still warm, because if it cools down, that's how it's going to stay. So make sure that you do whatever you want to do to your hair. If you want it to be straight, then let it cool really straight. If you want to have a curl to it, then let it curl. Then let it cool with a curl to it. So that's something that I like to do. And usually whenever you sleep on it, your curls fall out. So I like to make your hair a little bit curly at first, so that way your blow dry lasts even longer. Hi Tara, hi Lindsay. So if anybody has any questions that I haven't answered so far, go ahead and shoot those in, send those to me, and I'll go ahead and answer any questions that you guys have. Until then, I'm going to show you how to drop down to the next section and show you how easy that is. Now the next section, it's over your ears. So I'm going to show you how to separate that. Let me just get these. Now see, I focused the nozzle on her ends. That's what you want to get polished. That's what's really important, is getting the ends polished. All of the in-between, you kind of just rough ride that. The round brushing is really for polishing, and your hair can be so soft and smooth, but if your ends are not polished, it's not going to look nice. That's the most important part, is getting those ends polished. I also like to take my pinky and I grab the hair and wrap it around the brush. That's just a little trick that I've come to use. I don't put my hand on the handle of the blow dryer. I put it on the nozzle. That helps me direct the airway so that I'm making sure that the blow dryer is going the direction that I want. It's closing the cuticle, so it's nice and smooth. Okay, we're going to flip this up, and we're going to move to the next section. Okay, so this next section We pull it down. Now, right behind your ears, that's the front. So you want to get the front out of the way. You just want to do the back. So there's really only 4 sections that you do on the back. One here, one here, one here, one here. Okay? Oh, my clip is falling out. I'm going to redo this. Yeah, and if you ever notice it's falling out, just wrap it back up with those 2 fingers. And you might think that it's cooled down, but I like to leave it there the whole time until I'm done, because that ensures that my style is going to last, and then it's really going to get cool. So the mid shaft and the root is really already dry from our rough dry in the beginning, so really I'm just focusing on the ends here. And Anna has really long hair, so her blow dry takes a little bit longer than most people. Let's see. And if any of you guys want to like this video, go ahead and send me some likes and some thumbs up. Now, if you feel like you're having a hard time, it reaches the width of the brush. It's not any wider, but you feel like you're having a hard time reaching through, just cut it in half. And then you'll have an easier time. If you've got a lot of hair like Anna, sometimes I have to cut those sections in half. If you're just having a hard time pulling the brush through. Nothing wrong with having a lot of hair. It's actually a good problem to have. Better than not having enough hair. Anna, do you have anything to add? Nothing to add. How long do my blow dries usually last when I give you a blow dry?
Like a week.
A week. That's what she said. They last a week. But you use dry shampoo, right?
Yeah.
What kind of dry shampoo is your favorite?
Amika?
Amika? She likes the Amika dry shampoo. I like the Amika dry shampoo too. What day?
Smells good.
Yeah, it smells really good. What day do you usually put that Amika shampoo in your hair?
5.
On day 5? See, I have come to notice, I have pretty fine hair. Anna does not. The Amika dry shampoo helps me go maybe an extra day or 2. But I think the strongest dry shampoo is from the Dry Bar. Do you like that dry shampoo, the Dry Bar?
Yes, it smells amazing. It works.
Yeah, that's the strongest one. Anna says that dry shampoo works. I think that's the strongest one. The one in the middle that works second best, I think, is Powder Bluff by Kerastase. So, it just depends on how long you want it to go and what you're looking for out of your dry shampoo. If you're looking for maybe only an extra day and something that smells really good, go for the Amika. If you're wanting something where you just don't want to wash your hair at all that week, you want to be lazy, then go for the dry shampoo from the Dry Bar. I've used it, it's really powdery, so be careful if you have dark hair because you don't want to spray it too close to your scalp. You're going to turn your hair kind of a gray tint, so you do want to be careful with that.
I told my sister to watch.
Okay, good.
She is.
Good. Anybody have any questions about dry shampoos or have any dry shampoos that you really like that you think work better than any of the ones we have mentioned here? Go ahead and shoot those to me in the comments section and we can talk about those dry shampoos. But I think it's really awesome when you get a good blow dry and you don't have to put a dry shampoo in your hair until day 5. That's really awesome. Now you can look here. Oh, I got a low battery. You can look here. I just took this clip down and you can see how Anna's hair, it has this curl to it because that's how it's set. And you can see this section over here on this side, it's got the curl to it as well. Well, there we go. So yeah, that's what's setting your hair in these little things. You just wrap them around your 2 fingers once you get it dry. See? Wrap, wrap, and then I pin with those duckbill clips. I think doing that makes your hair, your blow dry last a lot longer too. Now when I'm done blow drying, I usually like to use a touchable hairspray. Two of my favorites, right now I really love the Amika line. I like the touchable hairspray by Amika. Everything in that line smells the same. It has the same scent. So you're not layering on different scent after different scent after different scent. It all smells the same. It all smells awesome. So that's something that I like to use. There's also one by Sebastian called Reshaper. That's one of my favorite ones too. I think it has really good hold and helps your style last a long time. But you're still able to run your fingers through it. That's something I hate about hairspray is you go put your fingers through it, then they get stuck and your hair doesn't move. But the touchable hairspray by Amika and Reshaper by Sebastian, those two are my favorite that really help give you a movable style. Especially when you have long, gorgeous hair like Anna does. You want to be able to touch it. You want to be able to feel it. You don't want it to be all stiff, you know, like a helmet head like your grandma. We don't want to do grandma hair over here. We want some beautiful, silky smooth hair, as Zohan would say. I love that movie. I went to Paul Mitchell, so that movie really speaks to me. If you haven't seen Zohan, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but it's one of Adam Sandler's last funny movie, I think. I think he's lost his mojo. What do you think? Anna agrees. Do you like Adam Sandler? Yeah, she likes him. Alright, so we're about to move to the front and we're about to move to the top and the crown. So this is where it's really important, where you're going to want to get some extra body, is giving it volume in the crown. Now you see that I'm blow drying her hair straight up. By blow drying it straight up, that's giving her more volume. That's what you want to make sure that you're doing, especially in the crown. Now down low, it doesn't really affect it as much. It definitely does in the crown though. That's where you want to get your volume. And that's where I think it's also most important that you're going to do these rolls, these barrel rolls is what I call them. That's where you're really going to see the benefit of those barrel rolls. So, here we go. Let me get this heated up just a little bit more. You can see how that just falls. It's so beautiful. It's awesome. Okay, so we're in the front over here. Now, in the front section, something that I notice people doing, especially when they curl their hair, they're curling one side in and one side out because that's just naturally how your hands kind of want to go. You want to make sure that you are curling it away from your face. You want to curl it away. So that's going to make a big difference. I'm going to show you over here. We're going to turn in. That. There we go. Okay. So I've got this section dry. Now see, I'm blow drying it in right now, but whenever I go to set it, we are going to curl it away, see, away from her face. And that's going to give you a lot prettier look. You can see how the curls are going backwards. That's what you want to do on both sides of your hair. I think that curls, they don't look quite as put together or nice whenever you curl it in on one side, and then they kind of look a little goofy and you're like, why is this curl not working? If you just curl, and what I like to do is I curl everything backwards up until I get to the middle. And that way it just kind of meets in the middle and it's a nice flow. So here we go. Last section in the middle, and now we're about to move to the top. Now this is great to be able to do yourself. These are some tips that are great for doing it at home. But if you ever get tired and you just say, to heck with it, I don't feel like doing my hair this week, I always do blow dries. I have several clients that I'll do weekly blow dries on. So come on in. My blow dries are $40, and I have a promotion where if you bring a girlfriend, and you both can get a blow dry for the price of one. So it's BOGO. Oh, so what I did, once I got to this top section, is I just took it the width of the round brush. You can see that this width right here is the width of the round brush. You don't want it to be any thicker or wider than the round brush. That's generally how you're going to take your sections. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting too much hair in your round brush. That's what I feel like people really struggle with. They're fighting with too much hair. And also they're fighting with too much wet hair. See, Anna's hair is really only wet on the ends right here. All of this part, it's already dry. I'm just kind of going back over it to apply heat so that I can have more setting style to it. But I don't have to dry that, so I'm not working twice as hard. It's gonna make my blow dry a lot faster. And also, I don't have to worry about putting that heat on her ends whenever I'm polishing it, because I already put that it's a pin spray in there and it has the heat protectant in it, so I'm not drying out her hair or damaging it. If you're not putting a heat protectant in your hair when you blow dry it, these blow dryers get pretty hot. This is my favorite blow dryer. Get off the phone, Anna. Taylor says get off the phone.
He didn't see me?
Yeah, he could see you. If you're not putting a heat protectant, you're drying your hair out, and that's going to make it a lot harder to style if your hair is all dry and brittle. So make sure that you're adding that heat protectant in your hair. And do you see how beautiful that falls whenever you flip it up? See, that side is cooled now. And you can probably see that Anna's hair, it doesn't have much curl to it. It's pretty straight naturally. But if you just let it set there and cool, it will make such a big difference. That's something a lot of people have a hard time with. They're like, well, my curls, they just don't last, they fall. Well, you ought to make sure that you set it when you're blow drying it, because you're applying heat, and once it cools, that's how it stays. So if you're not putting that curl into it when you blow dry it, and you're relying on a thermal iron, a curling iron to give you that style, and you already have really straight hair, you already have a hard time, yeah, it's not going to stay. You want to make sure that you are giving those barrel rolls whenever you blow dry your hair so that you can set it and it'll stay. If you have a really hard time, what you can do, I will show you. Once you get this real nice and warm, make sure that you can feel that your hair has a little bit of warmth to it. It's not cool. So now I know that Anna's hair has a little bit of warmth to it. So I'm going to wrap it. Here we go. Got it wrapped. And what you can do for each section after you wrap it, I've got this Amika touchable hairspray. Can you see it? It's awesome. You can just spritz it, go over it real quick, and that's going to give it a little extra hold too if you're struggling. So I think I'm going to go ahead and finish Anna's hair out. I'm almost done, so if anybody's got any last minute questions, hi LaFawn, how are you?
LaFawn!
Anna used to be the receptionist at Eaton Court where all of us worked together, so we're all really good friends. Alright, so we are back. Look at how beautiful this hair is like. I'm gonna show you how I finish it off. I've just got about 2 more sections up front, and then I'm gonna finish Anna's blow dry and show you what my finishing tricks are for a lasting blow dry. So bear with me. I've kind of told you all of my tips and tricks already. So bear with me just for 2 more sections. Anna, do you have a hard time round brushing your hair, or do you just curl it with a curling iron?
I curl it with the iron.
Yeah, and see, Anna, she even knows all of these tips and tricks, and she has a hard time round brushing. So if you have difficulties, it takes practice, but I'll even do a training session if you want to come in, and we can practice doing round brushing, and I'll teach you how to make yourself comfortable with your hands. so that you have memory. It takes a lot of memory, muscles, memorize what you do, and the more that you have muscle memory, the easier it is to do anything like this, like doing round brushing. So there's another curl that falls perfectly. Now again, if there's any questions that I haven't answered, go ahead and send those questions in. I can answer any questions. If you're just now tuning in, send questions in because I've gone over some stuff, but I am more than willing to go over stuff again. And, you know, they say sometimes it takes repeating yourself 3 times until somebody remembers what you said. So repetition is not a bad thing. Go ahead and send in the questions in.